Hey guys, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and early, 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, you guys got to check out, I think next week, starting next Monday, I may be making my videos from, drumroll, a camper. I'm not going to say any more. You guys got to check out next week's videos. After I get a roof over my head, you guys, there's so much I'm gonna have to talk about and tell you guys and share with you guys. Just a regular person, regular income, regular credit rating, who suddenly found myself in the middle of facing homelessness, in the middle of just with a few days' notice. All right, but today I want to talk about just a denial of reality. Again, Trump supporters, Republicans, conservatives, whatever you want to call this group, the cult of Trump. It's basically one conglomerate. I want to tell you guys about a conversation I had. I have close contact with a 70-year-old woman who's a Trump supporter here in my town that I run into often on my daily walks and bike rides. And it's a good-natured ribbing between us. You know, first of all, it's a 70-year-old woman, so I don't want to sound condescending, but I have manners, you know, so it's a lighthearted conversation. I'm not going to get aggressive and like that with this person. So it's a lighthearted conversation, but it's revealing. It's so revealing, these conversations. I want to talk about Representative Paul Gosar, Gosar. I have a hard. You guys know I have a hard time with names. I want to talk about, yes, again, Tucker Carlson and this alternate reality and Marjorie Taylor Greene. All right, let me start with the Trump supporter I talked to on Monday. I talked to this Trump supporter, and I was looking for a place to put all my stuff for about a month. I've kind of worked out my situation. I'll share that with you next week. But I was having a hard time even finding storage facilities. Like I said in the other video yesterday, not only is it hard to find to put a roof over your head, to buy or rent anything, it's almost impossible to find storage facilities. And you can't find buying furniture or electronics, air conditioners, mountain bikes. It's so hard to find any of this stuff. I brought this up and I started talking about my day with this Trump supporter on my daily walk, and the price of groceries in supermarkets. Now, look, I'm not going to get all, I'm not an economics major or anything. It's pretty common knowledge, everything, everything shut down. Factories, businesses. We remember this back March, April, May 2020. Everything shut down except absolutely necessary things. And manufacturing, now we're seeing everybody come out. We're seeing a doubling in demand, and we have half the supply. So, of course, supply and demand. Prices are going up. It's hard to find a lot of things. It does not take a rocket scientist to figure this out. And, of course, I already knew what this Trump supporter was going to say. It's all Joe Biden. It's all Joe Biden's fault. His far left Marxist, this person has no clue. For all this person knows, she's talking about Groucho Marx. Seriously. She has no idea what Marxist means, but it's to his radical leftist Marxist policies. This is communism that's raising the prices. We're going to have to wait in lines for toilet paper. It's all Joe Biden. But I noticed this. As she's saying this, I'm like, I laughed. And I asked her, I said, you do realize, you do remember the last year, and you do realize that Joe Biden's only been in office 5 months. And it doesn't even make sense what you're saying. There's no way that Joe Biden, anything he could have done could have affected, and we could have the shortages and the prices we have now in just the last 5 months. You do understand that we just went through a major worldwide pandemic and everything and you almost see a slight grin, like they know what they're saying doesn't make any sense. It's like this, no, I can't hear you. That's exactly what I saw in this person's face, without a doubt. But they were serious. These people are serious. It is Joe Biden. They will swear to their death that it's all Joe Biden's fault, even if they know the reality. It is willful ignorance, without a doubt. That is the definition of willful ignorance. I saw it for a couple split seconds. I saw the little grin. They know it's not Joe Biden's fault. But all right. So, thinking along those lines about a willful disconnect from reality. Tucker Carlson, in his show, whenever it was yesterday, Tuesday, he's blaming the FBI for the 6th back in January. That it somehow was operatives. It was a government conspiracy. Deep state, that because look, you know what? I'm not even going to rationalize this. I'm not going to argue because it is so tinfoil hat, bizarre, non-reality that. So instead of what we all saw with our eyes, Donald Trump gathering, telling his supporters first of all, setting it all up, setting up the Supreme Court ahead of time. Getting all of his people in there, telling his supporters before the election, months before the election, that it was going to get stolen, just in case he did lose. So he set it all up. He lost. He told his supporters that they all believed that it was a fraud, even though there wasn't the faintest, it was the most secure election in history. And all this evidence, this evidence coming out now, that his Department of Justice tried to demand that the Supreme Court overturn 6 states and have new elections. All this. And we saw him gather everybody there, tell them to be in Washington on that day, send them down to the Capitol. We all saw that. But what Tucker Carlson is saying, no, it was the FBI operatives. That's who it really was. It wasn't Donald Trump. It was FBI operatives. And of course, the AF and anybody else they can blame, because there was AF people in there that were dressed up like Trump supporters. So they know this because, I don't know. Tucker Carlson is actually, this was his show the other day, actually trying to say that somehow, because of indictments and arrests and some nonsense, that somebody somewhere, some rat somewhere, said something about person number 1 didn't get arrested for the 6th, and he must be an FBI conspirator or some complete nonsense. And this is what he's selling now, that it was the deep state and the FBI. It was a false flag trying to blame Donald Trump, even though we all saw it with our eyes. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's saying now, she's on stage, there's a big sign behind her. Fauci lied, people died. Fire Dr. Fauci. And we all saw Donald Trump with our own eyes talking about injecting disinfectant, telling people it's going to go from 100 cases to 15 to 1. All this nonsense, denying it, the denial in masks. Hey, I don't care what anybody says. When people have operations, surgeries, those doctors all wear masks, right? Hey, if you don't believe in masks, if you're one of these anti-maskers, next time you have an operation, you demand that everybody in that operating room don't wear a mask. How about that? If you're so sure that masks don't work, do that. I dare you. I double dare you. Don't have any more surgery, ever, unless every doctor in that room has an open face, no mask. If you're such an anti-masker, I want to see you do that. Until then, zip it. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, Fauci lied, people died. 600,000 dead Americans. Heads above the entire world in deaths, in new cases, in everything. We're supposed to be the greatest, the most developed country, and we lost this battle with this pandemic worse than any other country in the world because of Donald Trump's failures. But now Marjorie Taylor Greene is spinning it. Fauci lied and people died. Because she doesn't understand how science works. That with new information, the people's opinions change. That's how science works. Peer review. She doesn't get that. She thinks once you make up your mind, then it should be the same. We should still be using leeches according to her philosophy. All right. Now, on to Paul Gosar. Representative Paul Gosar. Talking about how the Air Force, the woman in the Air Force, I can't remember her exact name. The one insurrectionist that lost her life back in January. She says that the Capitol Police were lying in wait. They were hiding. They were lying in wait for this poor, unsuspecting woman that was just taking a tour of the Capitol. And they were lying in wait to ambush her. And they took her life. That's what he's saying. Look, we all saw the videos. I know I saw them. We saw terrified Senate lawmakers hiding up in the up above in the seats, hiding because they feared they feared they were going to lose their lives. We saw the Capitol Police blockade the doors, right? And they set up a line of fire in case these people, we saw them break into the Capitol, smash their way into the Capitol. Then we saw them break through those square windows, stick their faces in. I've seen this over and over again. The Capitol Police warning them, don't come in here. This is the Senate chamber. What do? They send this little woman, like I said, I can't remember her exact name, the one insurrectionist that lost her life on that day. She was petite, and she didn't pay attention to their warnings, and she started climbing through that window. The last refuge that these lawmakers had. And what happened. But to Paul Gosar, this was the Capitol Police lying in wait for this poor civilian just taking a tour of her house. Come on. You Trump supporters, you can't say this with a straight face because all of America saw the videos. We saw the videos of Donald Trump gathering the people and sending them to the Capitol. You're going to have to fight like hell. We all saw it. We saw the videos of those Capitol Police. We saw that little woman trying to climb through that window after she'd been warned. We saw them looking right at the Capitol Police, their last refuge, the last blockade protecting the Senate chamber, the lawmakers, warning them, don't do it, don't do this. And they send a little woman through the hole, and guess what happens? But according to them now, in their reality, this poor little woman was ambushed. Fire Dr. Fauci. Fauci lied, people died. Just like I talked about with that woman I talked about the other day. These shortages, the higher prices. It's all Biden's fault. Joe Biden, radical Marxist policies. Even though they have no idea what they're even talking about. And they know it. It's creating a whole different reality. And they have the nerve to say that Joe Biden's a communist and it's all false and all this other stuff. I like I said, I've told you guys before, I don't even bother arguing with these people anymore because of this. What's the point? Why would I waste my breath and my time? I'll just nod. Okay, sure. Whatever you say. I'm not going to argue with these people. They're living in a non-reality. But I'm going to tell you this. Every one of these people, I'll smile. I'll be polite to them. I'll have fair exchanges of business and money or whatever. I'll be fair to them, but I do not have one shred of respect for any of these people that have supported Donald Trump, do support Donald Trump. I have not a shred of respect. None. All right. You guys have a good Wednesday. I'll be back later with another video.